Hi Amber, it's Mrs. Tushy. I'm just going to start with lesson 77 just to make sure you understand how to do chords, and then I'll move on to passing tones because your mom said you were having difficulty with those. So here when it says to harmonize, we want you to make chords like this one on the bottom. So the first thing you have to do is look at the key signature here. There's one flat. So one flat means that you're in the key of F major. Okay, so we're going to start here, and you'll see that they already have the chord here. So you get the name of the chord by the snowman that you've drawn and the bottom note. So it must be in a nice stack snowman formation, okay, or root position it's called. And you get the name of it by the bottom note. So this is a gummy bears don't fly. So we have the F there. And so F is the first note in an F major scale. Okay? So the whole point of writing a harmony is so that all of the notes in the melody will sound nicely. So we have to explain all of these notes. So right now, all of the notes in the melody have to be a note of the chord. So we check and make sure, are all the notes in this measure an F, A, or C? F, A, C? Yes, they are, so that measure is correct. So now we do the next one, and we plot these notes down here. So I'm going to plot an F first, and I kind of already did this previously when I started to do video. So I'll put this F. I have a D. Now, I started to do my snowman on lines, so I have to continue on lines with the snowman. So the D, gummy bears don't. The F is already plotted, and then the B flat. Boop, like that. So the bottom note is a B flat right here. Okay, so I put the name of my chord B flat, and then I have to find out the Roman numeral. So I count from the F up the alphabet, F, G, A, B. And I put the B here, and I have a flat because there's a B flat in the key signature. Okay, now you're wondering why I have a 6 here. Well, it's because I changed the formation of this B flat chord. So the whole purpose of that is so that it runs smoothly from one chord to the next. See here, this F has a huge jump down to the bottom note. You can't have that. So the most you can do is jump from this note down to the next line, or from this note up to the next line. And it goes the same for the top note as well. It can't go any higher than the next line up or the next line down. So you want to keep everything within this range, all up there. So it goes by what the first chord is. That's the range for the whole song, basically, okay? So I look at this note and I say F, so the lowest it can go is here. Well, this note is way too low, so that won't work. So I'm going to have to take this B flat up to a different B flat location. So that's what I've done. So that means that this D is now the lowest note of my chord here. So when I do that, it means that if this note was on the bottom here, it would be in root position. If this note is on the bottom here, which it is, it would be first inversion. If this was the lowest note in this chord, it would be second inversion. So the number for first inversion is 6, and the number for second inversion is 6/4. Okay, and that goes for all chords except for the 5/7. It has its own special chord. So let's move on to the next. Oh, and let's check these notes. We already did all those notes, pardon me. My first video, it's probably not going to be smooth, but I'm trying. So let's do the next one. So I think it's going to be a 5/7 because the chord progressions we've done so far are always 1, 4, 5, 7, 1. Or they could be a 1, 6, 2, 5, 7, 1. Those are the ones that we've done mostly, okay? So we're going to go here and we're going to plot the notes. So let's go with C. C. We've got it. Now we've got a B. So I've got to put that B on a space. I cannot put it on a line. G, and, oh sorry, that's an E, and the G. So there we have a C chord. The bottom note is a C. So we count up F, G, A, B, C. So it's a 5 chord. And because there's an extra note in the chord, it's a 5/7 chord. So now we have to do the inversion. So we go ahead and do this inversion again. And I look at it and I say, hey, do I really need to be changing anything? Well, I don't really have to, but I think I will just for your example. I'm going to relocate this C. So I'm going to move it up to another C location. Now, there's different numbers as I mentioned. 7 for this 5/7 chord means root position. 6/5 is first inversion. 4/3 is second inversion. And 4/2 is third inversion. And it's like a phone number, so it's easier to remember. Remember 7/6/5, 4/3, 4/2. Okay? So if this note was on the bottom in this chord, it would be root position. If this note is on the bottom here, it's first inversion. So it is a first inversion chord. So it would become a 6/5. And I would also put my 6/5 up here. Okay. We move on to the last one. If we start with the 1, we will most likely end with a 1, but let's plot our notes. So we have an F, we have a C, we have an A, we have a C, which I've already plotted, and we have an F. So the bottom note is an F chord, so I write that in. It gets a 1. And then I look at it to see if I need to move it, and I do not, so I'm just going to write it like so. The next question is deceiving because it has, you'd think it would be a 1, 6, 2, 5, 7, 1, but it's actually not going to be. It's just going to be a 1, 4, 5, 7, 1, 1. Okay? That's the end of the first video.